Hi, I'm Dustin Saldarriaga, an immigration lawyer with Scott Legal PC in New York City. And in this video, we're continuing our series on the E-2 investor visa by focusing on the requirement that the E-2 investor intend to depart at the end of their E-2 visa. Before we dive in, if you're interested in more information about the E-2 visa requirements, we've posted to our YouTube channel our full webinar on the E-2 visa. We also share a lot of free information about the E-2 visa and other visas on our blog. We'll link to both our blog and our YouTube channel below. Finally, please remember that no video or blog post can replace the value of working directly with an immigration lawyer who can navigate the specific nuances of your application. So let's take a look at the E-2 intent to depart requirement. This requirement states that the E-2 investor must, at the time they apply for the E-2 visa, clearly intend to leave the United States at the end of their E-2 visa status. They cannot intend to adjust status and pursue a green card, or otherwise plan to remain in the U.S. after their E-2 status has expired. This requirement is rooted in the fact that the E-2 visa is a non-immigrant visa and does not lead to a green card. In contrast to an immigrant visa, also called a green card, a non-immigrant visa only permits temporary visits and does not lead to permanent residency in the U.S. While some non-immigrant visas do allow what is called dual intent, meaning that the visa holder can either intend to depart at the end of their visa or to adjust status and apply for a green card, the E-2 visa is not one of these and does not allow dual intent. When compared to the other E-2 visa requirements, the requirement to invest or to generate income and create jobs, for example, the intent to depart requirement is actually pretty easy to satisfy. The E-2 investor does not need to prove that they will be in the United States for a specific temporary period. They also don't need to have a home abroad. The regulations specifically allow the E-2 investor to sell their primary residence abroad and move their home to the United States. In fact, a simple signed statement saying that you intend to depart at the end of your E-2 visa is usually sufficient. It's usually not necessary to show your ties to your home country, as is often required for a visitor visa, such as a B1 or a B2 visa. Remember that the E-2 investor visa can be renewed indefinitely. As long as you continue to renew your E-2 visa, it's perfectly fine to remain in the United States for years. Now, there's one country of nationality that does require additional documentation showing that the E-2 investor has ties to their home country, the United Kingdom. We discussed this more extensively in our video about the E-2 nationality requirement, since the requirement is less about convincing the consular officer that you intend to leave the U.S. at the end of the visa, and more about establishing that you qualify as an E-2 investor under the treaty between the U.S. and the U.K. In short, the United Kingdom has one of the oldest treaties with the United States. It was signed in 1815. But the language in the treaty only includes those who actually live in the United Kingdom. As a result, E-2 applicants applying on a UK passport must provide evidence that they actually lived in the UK in the recent past. This could include tax records showing they paid taxes in the UK, a lease agreement and utility bills showing that they have an apartment there, credit card or bank statements showing that they made purchases there, or school or payroll records showing that they studied or worked in the UK. Finally, an important topic to discuss in this video is how a pending green card application impacts the E-2 application. Since the E-2 application requires that the applicant not intend to remain permanently in the U.S., the existence of a pending green card application at the time the investor applies for the E-2 visa or enters the U.S. on the visa could complicate the investor's ability to receive the E-2 visa or enter the U.S. The DS-160 online application form will ask whether anyone has filed a green card application on your behalf, and a consular officer will likely ask about any Form I-130, Form I-140, or Form I-526 green card application that's pending or that's approved. The border officer could also ask about a pending green card application when the investor attempts to enter the U.S. As a result, it's usually recommended that you apply for or renew your E-2 visa before submitting a green card application. In some cases, due to the risk of denial, it's worthwhile to apply for the visa or a renewal through USCIS rather than departing the U.S. and applying through a consulate. It's important to keep in mind that having a pending green card application does not conclusively show that an applicant intends to remain in the U.S. permanently. For example, it could be that the applicant intends to process the green card application at a consulate, which would require them to depart from the U.S. Also, if the green card application is not close to becoming current, for example, if the application is based on a U.S. citizen sibling and will require years before a green card is available, it's easier to make the argument that the E-2 investor plans to depart from the U.S. before that time. It's also important to note that while the E-2 visa does not directly lead to a green card, immigration lawyers have been processing green card applications for E-2 clients for years. A business started on an E-2 visa that grows into a $1 million enterprise and created more than 10 full-time permanent jobs for U.S. workers could qualify for an EB-5 green card, for example. Similarly, an E-2 investor could apply for a green card under one of the family-based categories, if they're eligible. If you have or are considering an immigrant petition filed on your behalf and you're applying for an E-2 visa, it's strongly recommended that you reach out to a qualified immigration lawyer. While we see many successes in this area, it's one that needs to be navigated very carefully. We hope this video about the E-2 visa's intent to depart requirement was helpful. If it was, please click the like and subscribe buttons below to stay updated on future videos about visa options and travel to the U.S. Thank you for watching.